What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you all are having a fantastic Monday. I've got a ton of information to get through here, and I do have more of a deep dive into Visa and more of a deep dive into the United Nations. So first, real quick, blockchain or DLT, digital asset news. Phantom blockchain to launch smart medicine project with Afghan government to battle counterfeit drugs. I do believe this is the first Afghan government blockchain project that has occurred, and I looked at Phantom's price today. It was up about 20%, so that must be nice. The People's Community Bank selects Finastra to modernize its core and digital banking platforms. We all know Finastra is on-demand liquidity and XRP enabled. That is great news, and hopefully the People's Community Bank opts to use that in the future. All right, I wanted to post this real quick because I haven't ever directly seen this. This was from a SlideShare. This is just saying that CGI and Accenture act as integrators for RippleNet. So, and now we're going to get into the actual video here. So I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit, hopefully shorter. This is United Nations Center for Trade Facilitation and Electronic Business. It was established as an intergovernmental body of the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe in 1966. Here's what's interesting. This is from the, I'll call it UN CFACT. This is a UN CFACT online workshop that is going to be held on July 9th. And the topic of discussion is towards global interoperable blockchain infrastructure. And this is being held in Geneva, Switzerland. So the United Nations is holding a workshop towards a global interoperable blockchain infrastructure. And I believe that you can actually attend this. We can see that one of the speakers in this is Maria Cesarelli. And this is the UN CFACT's blockchain white paper. What's interesting to note is that they have spoken about Ripple in the past. I'll blow this up because I know that people have said that they cannot read because it's blurry. This is from a UN CFACT presentation. This is actually in their blockchain white paper, and it's about Interledger, which is implementing transactions across blockchains. Interledger, blockchain spanning transactions, use cross-chain references and smart contracts on both blockchains that interact in a coordinated way. This is an emerging field. However, there are mechanisms that already exist and are in use. These are primarily focused on exchanging value, i.e. digital assets between ledgers, for example, Ripple Interledger and the Lightning Network. This is also from UNC Fact here, and this is a Geneva document that came out in 2019. Looks like they did an e-payment system study on Ripple and how Ripple works. Uses a native currency called XRP, which provides liquidity for converting from one currency to another. They only look like they have done about 2 e-payment system studies here. One was Singapore Pay Now, and the other was Ripple XRP, directly from the United Nations. This is also from the UNC Fact. This is another Geneva PowerPoint. This is interoperability between blockchains. Interesting that they have the Interledger protocol, which was invented by Ripple. This is a UN presentation. Directly in the center here. On the left, they've got Ripple has over 100 member banks. In the center, they have Interledger protocol. And on the right, they've got Hyperledger Quilt, Oracle, Cisco, SAP, IBM, Intel, Apple Pay. One protocol to bridge them all. All right. Not trying to be hypey. That was a bit cheesy, actually. This is what I want to get into though today. So all that UN stuff is super interesting, though. I mean that UNC Fact, the blockchain workshop for building a global infrastructure, interoperable. That just came out overnight. So I found that this morning. I did post it to Patreon and then obviously shared it with you all. So this is what we want to get into though today. And this is the main topic of this video. This is Visa to hire Ethereum Ripple blockchain engineers. Visa-backed firm partners with Ripple. We've all probably seen this article today. I went onto Visa's actual website, though, and the company description for this role with the description of the actual position and the responsibilities is very interesting, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper. I'm going to blow this up because some of these are just difficult to read. Visa's commercial payments organization, and this is about global commercial payments platform. I have not been able to find global commercial payments platform through Visa, but B2B Connect through Visa is their blockchain enabled platform. So we dive into that in a second. Visa's commercial payments organization is responsible for managing Visa's B2B payment innovation agenda. We just said that. And initiatives and the management of strategic partnerships with critical financial institutions. The group is responsible for defining and building the non-card-based payment innovation and product for Visa Incorporated globally. The top 5 priority verticals the team is focusing on. Blockchain-based cross-border payments platform. That is number 1. Number 2 is near-time settlement. Number 3 is enterprise ID stamping to create a digital identity for corporates. Number 4 is Hyperledger chain code development, Golang. And number 5 is analytics and data visualization. Number 1 and number 2 are Ripple and XRP's, well, the XRP utility and Ripple's utilization of the use case of XRP to a T. So we read down a little bit further, and they are seeking, from what I understand, multiple, but here, let me get into this a little bit here. Lead several blockchain initiatives, direct client and business exposure, write code, etc., etc. Now, they need to have worked on Ethereum, Ripple, R3, or the Bitcoin blockchain and have experience with Solidity. Multiple positions are available in Austin and Foster City, California. And for more information, visit this website, which is B2B Connect, which I did, and I will dive into that in a second. But first, I want to talk about this document presentation that Visa released in February. This is Visa's Investor Day Segment 2. This just kind of gives you the scope that they are trying to tackle with their B2B Connect, which is distributed ledger technology enabled, built on distributed ledger technology from Chain, I believe. Now, Visa B2B Connect, $120 trillion in payments, higher value, lower velocity flows. 20 trillion are card-based, 10 trillion cross-border, domestic. We dive down a little bit deeper into here. Businesses and governments make $120 trillion in payments globally for the purchase of goods and services. Cross-border, $10 trillion via Visa B2B Connect. Dive a little bit further down into here. Systematically execute strategy to scale Visa B2B Connect. They are looking for volume opportunity here. They are trying to basically disrupt an industry that needs to be disrupted, just like Ripple is, correct? This whole thing is extremely interesting. This is Visa's investor presentation, basically. $1 trillion of payment volume is what Visa accommodates in 2019, business to business alone. Cross-border, 10 trillion. You guys get the picture, right? Visa B2B Connect multilateral network. Speed, often same day. Payment finality, efficient liquidity management. I don't need to overly dive into that because we all know what that is. Here's what's interesting. Visa B2B Connect. These are some of the partners. This is Shinhan Bank in South Korea, Union Bank of the Philippines, United Overseas Bank in Singapore, Commerce Bank in the United States. Shinhan Bank is part of the Ripple diffusion phase from SBI Group. Shinhan Bank added Ripple to its customer base. Union Bank bridges the gap for unbanked Filipinos through cash out via 11,000 remittance outlets nationwide. And this is in correlation with CoinsPH. CoinsPH is an on-demand liquidity, aka XRP provider. Now, this is Visa introduces international B2B payment solution built on Chain's blockchain technology. So I do want to say, and I believe this is Chainlink, if I'm not mistaken here. So correct me if I'm wrong on that, but this is Chain Core, enterprise blockchain infrastructure that facilitates financial transactions on scalable private blockchain networks. Here's what I also find very, very interesting, and I don't want to coin Kevin Cage's phrase here, but this definitely makes me go, Visa says its network can process 65,000 transactions per second. Very interesting that XRP, they updated as of July 15th, 2019, the ability to scale to 65,000 transactions per second. Now, we know that Ripple's, what they're trying to utilize as a use case for XRP is not going to completely disrupt Visa's use case, right? They're trying to basically disrupt the cross-border payment space. We see that Visa wants to get into that game too. So a little bit of speculation here, not trying to be hypey, but wouldn't it make sense if a company wanted to utilize XRP, that it had the same throughput and transactions per second ability as that company does itself? Just going to throw that out there for everybody. We will see some of the tie-ins here, though. Visa acquires Ripple partner Earthport. Earthport had been a Visa or a Ripple partner since 2015. Very long-standing Ripple partner. This is MoneyGram. MoneyGram recently just upped their ante in their partnership with Visa as well. Transfers that rely on Visa Direct, Visa's push payment technology. The initial corridors between MoneyGram and Visa Direct run in Spain and in the Philippines. 1 billion cards worldwide that can receive Visa Direct payments. Now, I'm big into flutterwave here. If you were not aware, flutterwave is now PayID, which is obviously Ripple's and Xspring's initiative here for the PayID, which has multiple different tech companies and institutions involved in that. But Flutterwave and Visa launch African consumer payment service Get Barter. Now, what's interesting, Get Barter allows Flutterwave, which has scaled as a payment gateway for big companies through its Rave product, to pivot to African consumers and traders. Rave is B2B. This is more B2B2C, since we're reaching the consumers of our customers. Now, what's crazy about this, though, is that Ripple is built into the core infrastructure of Flutterwave, fitting Ripple blockchain into Flutterwave's core infrastructure for African payments. This was in 2018. We can see here, at the very beginning of 2019, Visa and Flutterwave partnered. And partner entity onboarding through Flutterwave. In order to accept disbursement requests from a transacting party on Ripple's network, the party has to go through the onboarding process on Ripple, creating a database scheme, new security certificate, connector account, setting up a transacting party on Rave so they can transact their payouts, settlement bank receiving transaction parties funds in agreed currency, and with the required credit to their Rave profile. Visa files patent for cryptocurrency system to replace cash. This, I believe, was a few months ago. Actually, this was late 2019, which was found. They mention Ripple in this. They mention a few other digital assets here. This provides a little bit of a backdrop as to far as where all this is actually going, though. For the people that say that, you know, it's just about blockchain, it's not about digital assets. There are multiple institutions. Visa is a huge, giant conglomerate across the board as far as payments are concerned. Do you really think that it just stops at the payment messaging and just utilizing blockchain as far as that is concerned? No, it doesn't just stop there. It goes everything digital. This entire thing is about digitization. It is about digital assets. And I've talked about this before. It's about setting up the infrastructure first. It's about connecting rails. It's about building liquidity. It's about all of that. And then the money essentially flows into the utility of digital assets, because we all know, even if they update their messaging standards, look at Swift GPI. That's basically Ripple's X-Current, which, well, it's now all rolled into ODL, but it all goes one place and it all goes towards digital assets. It's right there in front of our faces. Why would they patent and trademark something if they weren't planning on doing it? Now, what was interesting that I found about this is a sidebar. Don't take too much stock into this. This is this Alexandre Pierre. And he was actually one of the inventors / authors of Visa's digital fiat currency patent where they mentioned blockchain such as Ripple, etc. This dude seems to be an XRP fan, though. I believe this is the same guy. This is Alexandre Pierre. Ripple's XRP coin have a bright future. Why or why not? This is a bullish article on XRP. Also talks about no partnership but a competition within the Swift banking network. So, I mean, it's really laid out for everybody. You know, if we didn't think that these especially these blockchain networks and all of these legacy payment infrastructures were going to be talking to each other, then why would Visa be hiring multiple development engineers that have blockchain experience with R3, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Ripple? It just makes sense. They all know where this is going. They're patenting things. I'm saying that wrong. They're putting out patents, on a bi-monthly, tri-monthly basis at this point. I mean, I've seen multiple of them, but I think that we're getting a little bit closer here. And I hope you guys liked the video. And enjoy the rest of your day. So later.